Sairam, esteemed elders, dear brothers and sisters. Swami has sent us this evening a Sai student from Hyderabad, India, Brother Vijaya Sunder. Dr. Vijaya Sunder graduated with an MBA degree from Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning, Prasanthi Nilayam Campus in the year 2007. During his MBA days, Swami personally guided and advised him to draw sketches and paintings. Swami used to lovingly address him as Ravi Varma, who is the iconic painter and artist of India from the 19th century. Brother Vijay was fortunate to have spent time with Bhagwan at Kodaikanal in 2009. Brother Vijaya Sunder holds a PhD in operational excellence. He is an empirical scholar. He has more than 18 years of industry experience in leadership positions in global corporations that include Head of Business Process Excellence at the World Bank, Assistant Vice President at Barclays, and Quality Leader at American Express and Citigroup. Currently, he is an Assistant Professor of Operations Management and a Program Director of Operational Excellence for Leaders Program at the Indian School of Business, India. He is a TEDx speaker, author of 3 books and more than 50 research papers in reputed global outlets, including Harvard Business Review. Without further ado, let us put our hands together to welcome Brother Vijaya Sunder.
Dear elders, sisters and brothers of Singapore, Sairam to all of you. I am grateful to Bhagwan and the management team of the Sai Center for giving me this opportunity to address you all today in this Satsang session. Thank you. Let us start with a short story which Bhagwan often referred to in his discourses. This is a short story of an old woman who worked very hard from dawn to dusk at her office and comes back home in the evening. She opens the house and to her surprise, the house was fully dark. There were no lights, there was no electricity. That was not a great surprise to have in the evening after a tiring day, isn't it? She looks into her wallet and picks up the key to open her room, and mistakenly the key falls down, and since it is a dark room, she was not able to locate the key within the room. She was upset, very tired. She opened the exit door and moved outside again, and she can find a lot of light in the garden. The street light in the garden was glowing well. So she had an intelligent idea. What did she do? She went into the garden and started searching for the key there in the garden. How foolish was that thinking, isn't it? Where did she lose the key? In the house. Where is he searching for the key? In the garden. Swami often referred to this short story to ask us a simple question. What is the purpose of our life? If we ask this fundamental question. In the fast-moving world today, when we are busy in making money, in making name and fame, going around for education, relationships, let's take a step back and ask ourselves, what is the purpose of life? And every time when we ask this question, the answer that comes within is fulfillment, isn't it? From morning to evening, every day in the busy world, what are we searching for? Isn't it happiness? Isn't it fulfillment that we are searching for? Take an example. I'm searching for a job. I want to make some money. I have earned a great degree. I'm trying very hard to get a job. And then I prepare myself diligently. I search in multiple domains where I can go and look for a job. I tap my networks, and then ultimately I land up in a job. Wow, happiness, isn't it? As soon as I get into the job, my definition of happiness immediately changes. So far, my definition of happiness is to get a job. But now, as soon as I got the job, my mind will quickly change the definition of happiness to get the next promotion. So from today on in my job, I'll be working hard, searching for something new in the name of happiness, isn't it? Bhagwan calls this happiness as santosha, not sentosa, santosha. And he beautifully says, santosha means some happiness. That's why it's called santosha. That means it's a temporary happiness, which keeps the definition to be changed every time when we achieve it. It is temporary, and then you change the definition, again you keep searching for it. But Bhagwan also indicates to us there is something else which is called ananda, the eternal happiness, which does not change over time. You need not redefine it every time when you achieve it. And Swami calls that as ananda. What is ananda? Once I achieve it, it will be permanent with me. The eternal bliss that most of us get when we pray to God. What do? We come all the way from very distant places, and then as soon as we stand in front of the altar, what do? We close our eyes. What does that indicate? And we do this very organically, isn't it? It comes very naturally to us. Why does it happen like that? You came all the way to pray, and when a beautiful form or the formless attribute is present in front of you, why our eyes automatically gets closed? This is where Bhagwan indicates to us that santosha, the temporary happiness, is a search that we do outwardly. It's great in its magnitude, but not great in its direction. As soon as you turn the key inwards and start searching within, it is the route for what is called ananda. And that's why naturally our eyes gets closed as soon as we come and stand in front of the altar, because nature indicates to us that the search is not outside, but the search is within, isn't it? How foolish was that woman in my anecdotal story who was searching for the key outside. From where does happiness sprout in us? It sprouts within. It's a feeling within. And where do we lose it? We lose it within. So where should we search for happiness? Go within, and we can search for happiness. Now, searching for happiness within is the topic that I'm going to address today in today's Satsang. In the practical world, when we all have different roles to play, we are a son, we are a daughter, we are a spouse, we are a brother, we are a sister, we are a friend, we are an employee in an organization, we have customers to deal with in business. We have multiple roles to play in this fast-moving world. Then how can I go within? Let us talk. Not philosophy, but some practice. How can we practice going within on our day-to-day activities? When I was contemplating on this question, I found three interesting things which I am planning to share with you today as part of this satsang. How can we go within, being in this world and doing all our roles perfectly fine without deviating from any of our duties and obligations? The first among them lies in contemplating in this question itself. Going within, where to start? Does that mean I need to quit my job, run and renounce from the world, go to the forest, climb up the Himalayan mountain? Is that what we mean by going within? Bhagwan often says, hands in the society, head in the forest. Isn't it? Now, while it sounds very easy, it is very challenging to practice, isn't it? It's a paradox actually. All the roles that we play in our day-to-day life are actually external facing, but the happiness is internal facing. Now this is a paradox. How to solve this paradox in our day-to-day life? The first thing which I found could be helpful for us to go within is to live in the present moment. Let me tell you another short story. This is the story of a man whom I found running in a jungle. He's running, and what we found was there is a tiger which is chasing him. Of course, we have to run. Now the tiger seems to be very ferocious, hungry of course, and wonderful appetite in front of me. To save his life, this man ran and found a tree. And his intelligence told him, oh, let me climb up this tree. The tiger cannot, so I can save myself. So quickly, he climbed the tree. And as soon as he climbed the tree and was taking a deep breath, he heard Brahmarpanam from somewhere, the foot prayer. And he turned around and saw, who is this chanting Brahmarpanam on this tree? He saw a big, huge bear waiting there. The bear was of course happy. The tiger, the poor fellow, was at least chasing for the food. For the bear, the food is already in front of him, isn't it? Now this guy got scared. I was trying to escape from the tiger and now I'm getting in the trap of a bear. What should I do? He was looking around and a small ray of hope was appearing in front of him. You know, in the branch of the tree, he actually found 2 ropes. And he thought, okay, let me use these ropes and do something. He cannot come down. He comes down, there's a tiger waiting there. He cannot go up, there's a bear waiting there. So he was stuck in between, holding the 2 ropes from the tree. Interestingly, he also found 2 rats which quickly climbed on the tree. One was black in color, one was white in color. Both climbed on the branch of the tree and started biting these ropes. What to do now? He doesn't have any hope. But in the meanwhile, interestingly, he found a honeycomb nearby the tree. And you know what he did? He took a little honey from it and started licking. What am I talking about? Am I talking about a story of a tiger or a bear? This is a short story which Swami narrated long ago. And Swami explained, but we all are living our life just like that poor fellow who is stuck between a tiger on one side and a bear on the other side. You know what is the tiger and the bear? The tiger is our past. We often think and worry about our past, the mistakes that we did, the feeling of guilt which we get attached to. And the bear is the future. We often worry about the future, the fear of future in the form of the bear waiting there. And Swami says, all of us are actually living like that person who is stuck either worrying about the past most of the times or in the fear of the future. And you know what are those 2 rats? The black rat and the white rat? They are the day and the night. They indicate the time. They indicate that you have limited time, my friend. Stop thinking about your past or fearing about your future. The rats are already biting the rope You have limited time. Go within. But what did this fellow do? He was searching for temporary happiness. Wow, I found a honeycomb. Let me lick it and enjoy the moment. That is not living in the present moment. Because that is searching outward. We get a small happiness as soon as we lick the honey, and it goes away as soon as honey goes beyond your tongue. And again you keep searching, worrying, fearing about something. Isn't it? So Swami says that if you live in the moment, taking away the guilt and the worry of your past and the fear of your future, you're actually ready to go within. That is the readiness. And then he says, now how to save this fellow in our story? What happens to him? What should he do? Shall he continue licking honey? No. He should change the direction of his search. Swami says, he should now call for help. He should call, hey Swami, come on, please help me. I am in trouble between my past and my future. And time is very limited. Please help me. Seek for happiness. Seek for help. Isn't the way Swami is indicating how do we need to pray? This is the first step that Swami tells us how to go within, the readiness step. The journey has not yet started. This is just to check our readiness. How do we go within? Now, living in the present and making every moment a godly moment is the first step to go within. But how do we do it practically? Shall I think of doing X, Y, Z things in front of me, like doing a bhajan, doing Narayan Seva, doing Help the Helpers activity, and doing some health camps around? All this I can make as godly moments, isn't it? Because we all have pure heart coming and involving in our Sai Center's activities. Is that what the story is indicating us? Probably yes, but that's not fully. There is a lot of message hidden behind the story. What is worldly activity and what is Swami's activity? If I have to make my present moment a godly moment, I need to involve in Swami's activity. That's what my intuition tells me, isn't it? No, that's not the right answer. Let me narrate you an experience of one of my professors at the B school at Puttaparthi. Professor Bhagya sir is our beloved professor, an ardent devotee of Bhagwan, who had a great opportunity to be in Bhagwan's physical presence and enjoy his experiences. So many are there to speak. A small sample for you. Professor Bhagya, a chemical engineer by education, who was handpicked by Swami to teach statistics for us in our MBA education there, came to Swami after he cleared the first readiness step probably, because he was always searching for God within. And he felt that is very important to progress in our spiritual journey. And Swami also nourished the thought in him. Every time Swami guided him how to go within. And all the beautiful conversations and guidance which he had made Professor Bhagya to contemplate, what am I doing in this institution here? Every day I get up, I go to the college, I teach my students, and then I come to Mandir, I pray, and then I go back. In a day, the proportion of time that I am spending in the Mandir seems to be relatively less, isn't it? I spend most of my day at college teaching students. And he felt, if I am here to go within, why am I wasting my time going to college and teaching students? I should use all the time to do Swami's activities, isn't it? That's the thought which sprouted in his mind. And what did he do? He immediately wrote a resignation letter, gave it to the management of the institution, and with a lot of happiness that from tomorrow I have a lot of time to involve myself in Swami's activities, he walked that day into the Mandir for the evening darshan. Swami came close to him and asked, "Hey Bhagya, how are you? All okay?" And he was expecting that Swami will pat on his back, and he said, "Swami, my search for within started with more intensity today. I resign my job, so from tomorrow, all my time is for only Swami's activities. Prayer, service, all the activities which happen there, I'm ready to participate. My full time is to convert every moment into godly moment. Immediately Swami's face shrunk. Swami said, no. If you continue to separate what is worldly and what is godly, I will not give you what you're expecting even in 1,000 births. That's what Swami said, Professor Bhagya. While we have a great intent to go with him, we need to be more careful about the path that we travel. And that is where our Guru actually guides us through these experiences. What Swami said, Professor Bhagya, is not just for him, but for all of us in this journey. Why should we separate something as worldly activity and something as godly activity? He says that's a blunder in this journey. Because if I do this, I can never make my entire life dedicated for Swami, isn't it? As human beings, we all need to spend time to do our basic work at home. We need to eat, we need to sleep. And once my mind starts discriminating that all this is worldly because I'm doing all this for my body, that means half of the day is already gone of missing an opportunity to do Swami's work, isn't it? But that's not the right thinking, Swami says. He says the first step that you need to take to go with him is to mix Swami in everything that you do. You're dealing with your spouse, think it is Swami's work. You're going to your office to do your work, think it is Swami's work. And you're coming to Sai Center to do some service, that is also Swami's work. Everything is Swami's work, then that thinking actually makes you to go within, because the entire day you mix Swami into everything that you do in your life, isn't it? How easy and practical is this for us to start following? I mean, we can take this an analogy of what we do every time when we feel thirsty, very tired at our homes. What we do, we make a lemon soda. How do we make lemon soda? Imagine, I made a lemon soda this way and I am drinking. Imagine how would I feel. I have a cup of lemon juice here and I have a cup of soda here. I take a sip of this and then I take a sip of this. Would I feel lemon soda in me? What should we do? Mix the soda into the lemon juice, mix it so well, and then when you drink it, that is the ecstatic taste of lemon soda, isn't it? Very similar analogy. Mix Swami into everything what you do. The mixture should be gelling so well into the DNA of our entire body and mind that we should not be able to discriminate what is Swami's work and what is worldly's work. And Swami says this is an important step to go with him. If everything becomes divine in front of us, then your journey within makes easier for you. Now, everything is divine. Where does it come from? It comes from your thinking to mix Swami in everything that you see, that you encounter, that you deal with in your life on a day-to-day basis. So this is the first step for us to go with him. Being in the present moment, converting every moment into godly moment, and not to discriminate between what is godly and what is worldly. The second thing, after this, what matters to go within is what we do. What we do actually matters. This is where service comes as a key opportunity to all of us coming to the Sai Center here. Here we have tremendous opportunity to serve and enjoy that experience of service, and it's a great opportunity in front of us because to go within what we do really matters. What is service? What is service if I have to define it? Making every action divine and feeling it for our fulfillment is service. And if we can see service this way, every time when we have that opportunity, that means we are actually starting to travel with him. Now, let me give you a couple of examples from the experiences of the devotees to whom Swami actually showed this path of going within and indicating service as an opportunity. I remember one of the popular doctors in the super specialty hospital at Puttaparthi. He had served almost all his life serving patients there at the hospital. The interesting part of the hospital, by the way, is there is everything which is available there, from the service to the people, the medical service, except the fee counters. One of the most profound way of sharing love and service by mixing divinity into it. So this doctor, who has served all his life at super specialty hospital, one day was found to have a problem. So since he is a doctor, of course his colleagues also would be doctors. So one of his colleagues who checked his health found that he has a block in the heart. At that age, it is not easy for us to ignore it. Of course, we need to immediately take an action. So they have to start blood thinners for him. Generally, when we have block in the heart, the first set of treatment which doctors do is to start with the blood thinners. But before he gets started into blood thinners, he has to undergo a few tests. Some investigation has to happen about his ecosystem as a body. So they took him for a few investigations, and what they found was he have another problem, which is an anemia problem. Anemic problem means there is a lack of blood. That means blood gets leaked into the vascular system, and it's called hemorrhage in medical language. Now, the doctor who is treating our friend here has a paradoxical problem. There's a tension among the treatments that they give between these two problems, because if we have to start somebody to treat the block in the heart using blood thinners, your hemorrhage problem will increase. And if they start a medication for the hemorrhage problem, your heart blockage may go more intense. So the doctor who was treating him took a step back and got confused. So where should I start? Which medication should I start first? Science may answer this question, but since this was the time where they had an opportunity to have the physical proximity with Bhagwan, that evening, the doctor who is treating our friend doctor went to Bhagwan and requested Swami to guide him. He said, Swami, he has been serving all his life in the super specialty hospital, and we found a tension between the two health problems he is facing. What should be the first thing that I need to start medication for him? Swami heard him patiently, and Swami said, don't worry, tomorrow I will come to the hospital and I will take care of him. Don't worry. Swami said, the darshan is over. The next day, as promised, Swami went to the hospital to see the doctor who has these problems. He went, spoke to him with a lot of love, materialized vibhuti, gave it to him, and he said, every time when you feel thirsty, when you are about to take a sip of water, put a little vibhuti in your mouth and then drink the water. You will be fine. Swami told him, and Swami walked out of his room. You remember the other doctor who was treating him, who went and requested Swami for help? He was standing outside. And Swami said, hey, you know what? I gave him vibhuti, he'll be fine. Now you can start medication for whatever you feel is appropriate first. That means it is now your choice. If you feel I need to start medication for hemorrhage first, go with it. My vibhuti will take care of his heart blockage. If you want to start medication for the block in the heart, go for it. My vibhuti will take care of his hemorrhage problem. Wonderful. The tension is resolved, isn't it? And Swami left. After that, the doctor who was treating our friend doctor started contemplating. Of course, that's what going within is all about, contemplating, isn't it? He contemplated and he was confused. You know why? He was thinking, if Swami can create vibhuti and say that it will solve one of the two problems, he wondered, why can't the vibhuti solve both the problems? Why one problem it should solve and leave the other for me to give the medication? Isn't it a very logically correct question? He was dare enough to go and ask Swami this question. You know what was Swami's response? He said, if I cured both the diseases using Vibhuti, you will lose an opportunity to serve him. Swami is defining what is service for us. When you put one hand towards serving people, Swami puts another hand on it and makes this beautiful union. And this is called service, isn't it? If I would have cured both the diseases using the Vibhuti, you will lose an opportunity to serve him, which I don't want to take away. That means service is an opportunity for all of us, isn't it? Isn't that the message through this experience that we all can learn? How beautifully a complex phenomena becomes simple when Swami starts explaining it through these kind of experiences. I also want to narrate another such incident. A simple way of understanding what is service, the second step to go within. It was a wonderful morning in Prasanthi Nilayam. Swami came out, it was a festival celebration. Swami was sitting on the dais. And Swami was so happy that day, and he decided to distribute safaris. Safari is a fine clothing in India. He decided to gift safari cloth to all the students in the high school and in the higher education institution. So boxes and boxes of safaris. All of us were in a straight line, coming close to Swami, taking Pada Namaskar, and Swami gives us a safari cloth and blesses us. One after the other, one after the other, one after the other. All the students came, and patiently Swami gave these safaris to all of us. It's a nice way of expression of joy, isn't it? This episode is done. And then Swami looked at this side. Oh, all this side was all big boys, MBA boys, high school boys, but this side, primary school boys. And Swami looked at them and said, bring more. This time not safaris. This time they bought big baskets of chocolates. And you know this time how Swami distributed these chocolates to those tiny tots? He took a handful of chocolates and he threw on them. What a scene it was to witness. The shower of chocolates falling on all these small kids. And you know, it was so chaotic. Some of them were standing up to catch. Some of them were diving to catch. Some of them were expecting, oh, the next chocolate will fall on me. And we all were witnessing that beautiful scene in the Kulwant Hall. But it is quite chaotic because Swami was throwing the chocolates. They were all around. People are all moving around to catch them. One of the senior devotees was dare enough to get some clarification for this spiritual question. You know what the question was? Swami, a little while ago you distributed safari clothes to all the senior boys, and the way you distributed was all the boys came in a very disciplined way in a line. You gave one after the other. But what is happening here doesn't seem to be gelling well with something which is so close to your heart. The discipline, everybody seems to be chaotic. What is this, Swami? Can I understand? Can you please explain? You know what was Swami's answer? Swami said, this is the way I operate this universe. When I throw a bunch of chocolates for the people sitting out there, some boys will get 4 chocolates in the hand, some may get 2, some may not get any chocolate in the hand. And Swami said, you know what I will do immediately? I will be looking for those boys who got many chocolates in the hands. I will be observing them. You know why? I will be observing them to see if they are taking one of those chocolates and sharing with those who do not have anything in the hand. How graceful is the God. On one side He is showering everything to us, but on the other side you are also under His eyes. He is looking at you to see if you have that capability to serve those who do not have any chocolates in the hand. What a profound message of defining service for us. What is Swami talking about here? Is it about chocolates and the small tiny tots? Absolutely not. We all are blessed by God because we have so many faculties with us. As a human being, we are born with good faculties, like we're able to see things, we're able to hear things, we're able to understand, we got intelligence, we got a good job, we got decently good relationships, we have some money for us to survive in this planet. Not many people are blessed with all this. The 4 chocolates which I'm talking about probably could be our education, money, relationships, and name and fame. How did we get all this? It is Bhagwan's grace which is showered on us. And what is He expecting from us? Come on, share it with others. This is what Swami explained. What is service? And this is the most important step for us to go within. Because when you serve someone, it is not only the beneficiary of the service who is actually benefited in the process, but more than the beneficiary, you are the actual beneficiary who get the sense of fulfillment within you, and that is the ultimate purpose of our life and the whole discussion about going within. What else could be the easiest way to understand what is service other than this example of distributing chocolates to the tiny tots by Bhagwan? There is an additional motivation also for us for taking the second step of service. It not only takes you go within, but it also accelerates this process of going within. And it literally means going close to the God. I'll share my own experience as a small example for this. Many years ago, when I was in my engineering education, I come from a very humble background, so I did not have enough money, nor I had great belief about Swami those days. But I loved service. Every day I used to go to the Sai Center, I used to do a lot of service. But Swami, neither I had money to go to Puttaparthi to see Swami, nor I had so much yearning or belief on Him. Those were the days. And one fine day, the convener of our Sai Samiti came to me and requested, "Hey, you know what? Actually, we have been practicing for a program to put in front of Swami in Puttaparthi. The program is practiced by the Balavikas children of that particular district, small children. And everything is planned. Tomorrow, the small children along with their parents are leaving to Puttaparthi to put the drama in front of Swami. And there were a set of boys who were also going there, volunteers, Seva Dals, to hold the background sets there. Because if Swami is seeing the drama, say here, at the background, if it is a palace scene, we need to have the background as a palace. If it's a forest scene, we need to have the background as a forest. So there were some boys who carry these sets, which can temporarily be attached there like this, and the scene goes on and Swami will enjoy it, that it is happening as though it is happening in a palace or a jungle. That's the idea. So the convener came to me and requested that one of those set boys, the one who carries the background canvas, unfortunately is suffering today with viral fever, so he cannot travel along with the children to Puttaparthi. So I'm requesting you, can you please play the role of the set boys? That means you are not part of the drama which happens in front of Swami, you are part of the drama which happens behind the sets. You have to carry the sets. That means you can't even see Swami. Will you be interested to go? I said, Puttaparthi, going, seeing Sai Baba. Didn't strike my mind, I was not so curious, but he said, think of it as a service activity. Isn't it a service? Somebody was volunteering, he was sick, so you're going for him. Think of it as a service activity. And I agreed. So he paid for my trip. The first time in my life, I went to Puttaparthi. The drama was going on. My role is simple. There will be a particular scene of Adi Shankaracharya, the scene which one of the students will play. And when we chant a particular shloka, my role is to hold the background set in one hand and to throw some artificial golden coins as though they're appearing from the sky, from the background. That's the scene. That was my role. I was holding it. There were small tiny holes in the canvas through which I was able to see Swami on the other side. That was my first darshan actually. Wonderful show by the students. Swami was very delighted looking at all the drama which they did. Wonderful. Swami came down, interacted with all the children, and then Swami went back and sat on the dais. The said boys were also asked to sit behind the children who played different roles in the drama. For example, if all the children were sitting like this and Swami is here, then all the said boys were asked to sit behind as a courtesy. And then Swami was so delighted with the students' performance. So what did he do? He called somebody to bring a basket of watches to give it as a gift to the students. Of course, they did a great job, so they deserve it. So Swami called one after the other the students close to him, asked their names beautifully, he tapped on their cheek, he asked, very good performance. You are Dasharatha, right? You are Shankara, right? Swami remembered all the characters also in the drama, and he gifted them watches. In the basket, there were a bunch of watches, one after the other. Swami started gifted to them, and all the children got the watches. They all went back and sat in front of Swami. Now there was one watch which Swami already took from the basket, and that was the last watch in the basket. And the watch is now in Swami's hand. Swami was asking, did you get the watch? Did you get the watch? Did you get the watch? All children said, yes Swami, I got the watch. Now what to do with this extra watch? This one watch extra in his hand now. The bhajan started and Swami was nicely enjoying the bhajans. And he was beating with his watch on one hand, on the other. He was enjoying the bhajans with the moment. Suddenly he opened his eyes and his eye fell on me, sitting there at the back. On among the 11 set boys were there. Probably I was the 11th one sitting on the corner. So no special. If I was the only one, probably he may look at me, but there were 10 other set boys around with me. He looked at me and indicated, I didn't understand whether he's calling me or he's just nodding his head or he's calling somebody else. He was not that intelligent. So somebody who's sitting next to me said, go, Swami is calling you. Then I came to Swami. Swami said, take this watch. Immediately I said, no Swami, I don't want this watch. Swami didn't expect this reply probably. He was looking at me with a surprise. And then I said, then he asked me, what do you want then? Wow, see the occasion. Eye to eye, I am here, Swami is here, and Swami is asking me, what do you want? What should I ask her? Liberation, isn't it? Mad fellow I was. But in my madness, there was service mixed in it. You know what I asked for Swami? I said, Swami, I want a seat in your college. I want to become a Swami student. Swami said, take this watch. I'll give you a seat also. The next year, I was there in the school, in the B school there as a Swami student. You know, for this entire episode to happen, what was the backbone of this episode? It was my service. Isn't it? Swami knows when to give and what to ask within you to him. He decides what you should be asking. And we feel, wow, I was intelligent to ask things like this. How foolish was I? Service literally took me close to God. It can take everybody within. Is a great message that I can relate it back to what happened in my own life. Service is an amazing step to go within, and going within means going close to the God. Now, what we do matters, of course, that's where we got the answer is service. But the third aspect is more important than this. The third and the final step of going within. What you do is important. But how you do is more important. That's what Swami says. What do you mean by how you do? Of course, we all are serving, participating in many activities, mixing Swami in everything that we do in our day-to-day life. This is not enough. The most important third step is how we do all this. And how we do means the most important element of love comes into picture. Any service which does not have the element of love in it does not reach God. It becomes one more ritual or a mundane activity. Swami says, I am Hridayavasi, means I reside in your heart. I am Bhavapriya. I am the one who loves your feeling. It is not the tangible thing that we do which is important, but the intangible, how you do is more important. That's what Bhagwan says. Isn't it? Now, where to start on love? The answer Bhagwan gives is start it with you. First, start loving yourself. You know why? Because I created you, so you are special. I created you for a purpose. You are not here in this planet because of some randomness. No. You are special because you have the identity with the God. This feeling is what we call as loving our own self. You are created uniquely by God, and that is by will of God you are created that way. God has molded you so many years in this body in a particular way by His will. Isn't it? Aren't we special? If not, do we get this human life? If not, do we get a place to know, hear, see, think about Swami? Aren't we all special? This is called loving ourselves. Identifying the purpose. I am special. I am here for a purpose, and that purpose is to go within. If you read the mythological tales of any culture for that matter, all the demons do meditation towards God to ask for boons. Years and years and years and years they meditate. That's what mythological stories generally say. Every demon does that. And one fine day, God appears and asks, come on, I'm impressed. What do you want? And every time in every story I hear only this version, that irrespective of who the demon is, demon asks only one boon. What is the boon? Oh God, I should not die. How foolish is he? If God comes in front of us and asks, what do you want? What should we ask? I should not be born again. Isn't that more precious? We are born here, and the purpose of our birth is to go within and get connected back to the God, so that we don't need this mortal body again to come back to this planet and perform further actions. And that is the purpose of our life, and realizing that purpose means loving your own self. This is called loving yourself. Now expand this is what Swami says. Don't just stop at loving your own self. Loving your own self is the first step, and then expand it to loving the people around you. Where? Start at your home. Kindness, compassion doesn't need any great abilities, talent and skill set, because it is our natural way, the way we all are created as humans. If you can start loving the small circle within your house, start with your parents, spouse, brothers, friends, and then Swami says slowly expand it there. From loving yourself to loving your family, from loving your family to loving your society, the community, the nation, and expand the love. The last step of going within lies in how we do things, and how we do things, love is the answer to it. And once you start identifying your uniqueness, God is connected with you. I can give you one more example from my experience. After joining as a student in Puttaparthi, the first day of my MBA, today I am a Swami student. What a great feeling it is. I am sitting in the front row. Swami comes there and he looks at me and he says, How are you? Are you happy? Such a great feeling that was. The connection which Swami makes. Imagine that. Visualize the moment which I am talking about. The holy smell, the sacred feeling, Swami talking to you, making an eye-to-eye contact. What a connection that was. And how innocent was I to think that this is how the life is going to be every day for me. Because from the day two, Swami stopped talking to me. For the next 6 months, not even a single interaction I had with Swami. There was no opportunity. If I take a chance to go try to be visible in front of him, all foolish thoughts. Swami know how to ignore you. For 6 months I suffered. Because the first time when I tasted that great experience of having an eye-to-eye contact and Swami talking, and in fact he made a promise to me on the first day that I will talk to you. We need to talk more. Obviously my expectation was it will start from day 2. I did not enjoy those 6 months of my stay. Honestly, every day I go to Mandir thinking it is this day that Swami will again talk to me. No? And then in those 6 months, lot of thoughts, so much of transformation started happening within me. I started observing Swami more closely because I never knew anything about Bhagwan before that. Now this is an opportunity for me to know more about it. Knowing more about God is a foolish thought. Our whole life is not sufficient to know about Him. What a small attempt. I started observing Swami's behavior, what Swami does, whom is he interacting with, what is he enjoying more. I started observing him more closely. And as any other normal human mind, my mind also told me that, hey, you know what? Swami actually sits very close to people who sing bhajans. Swami interacts every day with those people who actually play music. Wow. Human mind thinks logically. And God is beyond the logic. And what did I do? Oh, if I also start learning music and if I also make an attempt to sing, then I can also get close to God. Wow, the formula looks so simple. Simple recipe it is. Next day I went to the tutorial sessions where all of our students go and practice bhajans to sing before Swami in the mandir. I also went there and I said, I'm also interested. Can I get an opportunity? They said, why not? Come on. Can you sing a bhajan? And I started singing with my loud voice. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. My voice is much better now. I don't have any knowledge in music. I'm zero in music. I still remember that day how loudly and how awkwardly I sang in the tutorial room. All the brothers looked at me and said very politely, I think you need more practice. Not working. What to do? Oh, if I cannot sing, let me try something else. So I went there and approached the person who is also our student who plays flute in Mandir when the bhajans go on. I requested him, brother, can you please help me learn flute? At least let me try with my windpipes. He said, come 4:30, around 5 o'clock in the morning, I'll teach you flute. Very difficult. One day I tried, 2 days I tried, third day, it is not flute which was dominating, but my sleep which was dominating in the class. Flute also did. I tried tabla also. Nothing worked. I tried many things. Every time I observe Swami interacting with someone, I observe their traits and try to behave like them. Probably this is another form of bhakti, but I don't know. I was doing it very organically every day. I got fed up of things. I felt, no, this is not going to work for me. I came to Puttaparthi and MBA was only a reason for me to stay there. I came here for Bhagwan. And when you are in flesh and bones, going around me with all your divinity. I want that proximity. I want your love. I want that sambhashan. I want the conversations with you. I came here for that, and you're ignoring me. Then why should I even stay here? But I still remember that episode where I came and asked Swami, give me a seat, and Swami said, okay. Now I cannot just leave this and go away just like that, isn't it? It's not courteous. So I took a pen, I wrote a letter to Swami saying, Swami, thank you very much for giving me a seat, but it seems like it's not working for me here. And I have decided to leave this place silently today evening after darshan, because if I tell this to warden, principal and all of them, it's not going to work very well. So I wrote this courtesy letter just to keep Swami informed that I am leaving. It was in my pocket, and this today, I was very smart. I did not sit in the first row, I was sitting behind. Swami came for darshan. I was somewhere in the 4th or the 5th row. Swami looked at me, caught my hand and pulled me. He asked, is everything okay? This is what I was yearning for 6 months. Not even a single day I had this opportunity. What else I need? I just jumped, caught his feet tightly, and I started pouring everything. You know, Swami, this is what I wanted. For 6 months I was yearning for this. I did everything which is possible in my life to do. And then Swami also, see the omnipresence. He says, what is that song you are singing there in the hostel? Hare Rama, is it? God knows everything. How foolish was I to explain, Swami, I tried this, Swami, I tried that, nothing worked for me. And then after making fun of me, he came close to my ears and said, you start sketching. It is not me who actually thought of impressing God by this way and getting close to Him. In this 6 months, why didn't I get this thought even once? My dad is an artist. Some genes in me would have triggered to use this as an opportunity to present my bhakti to Swami, isn't it? But in the past 6 months, not even a single time I had this thought. Observe Swami, whom is he meeting? Behave like him. Observe other one, whom is he? Behave like him. I lost my identity for the past 6 months in this whole puzzle. And see, the Guru guides. He came close to my ears and said, you start sketching. That is your identity. This is loving our own self. We are created uniquely by Bhagwan. We are here for a purpose. Why should we be somebody else? Identifying ourselves with our own purpose of life for which God has created us. That is the self-love. That is what Swami means by loving our own self, the way we are created for the purpose in this planet. And we have a great job to accomplish in this life. That is to go with Him. You know, from that day onwards, everything turned colorful in my life. From that day I had opportunity to draw sketches for Swami. Every day Swami tells me what is the next sketch I should draw. And he used to wait to see that sketch every day. All the known gods of every religion, every culture, everybody are done in my knowledge. Now whom should I draw? Swami told, tomorrow one of my ardent devotee, Indulal Shah, is coming. Means he is expecting a sketch. And the next evening when Indulal Shah comes, who is a very ardent devotee of Bhagwan, very senior devotee, Swami used to gift this sketch to him and proudly used to say, you know, my student. You know him? How can Swami turn a zero to a hero just overnight? The message is to identify ourselves with what the purpose we have been created for. Not to wander around and do things to identify ourselves with something random. Swami makes his connection with everybody in a very unique way. There is no one recipe to go within or to go close to the God. It is a unique experience which nobody can teach you. It is a feeling that we have to explore in this entire process. And this third step of loving your own self and then expanding this love to others in your family, and then to your community, then to your country, and then to this planet is a third important step that we need to try practicing to go within. You know, in the fast moving world, every day, everybody in this planet whom we encounter have problems in life. If we can say this to ourselves every day, every person whom we meet, the kindness and compassion comes naturally to us. And once we start practicing this, we're actually going with it. And this is the third step which Bhagwan has clearly made us all think about. Let me tell you another interesting story. This is a Buddha story. You know, one of the later disciples of Gautama Buddha, in his initial days of being in close proximity with Gautama, came to him and said, "Oh Lord, I have so many problems in my life. I am praying in front of you. Please help me. How do I come out of all these problems?" And Gautama says, "Go to your house, take handful of salt, put it in water and drink it. All your problems will be solved." Wow, sounds simple. He went back home, took handful of salt, took a glass of water, poured the salt into the water and mixed it well and drank. What happened? Weird experience. He vomited. The next day again he came running back to Gautama Buddha. He said, "Lord, I tried what you said. Forget about my problems. I think I have a new problem now. I vomited all that." And then Gautama asked, with all his love, he asked, "How did you do what I said?" He said, "I took a glass of water, I took a handful of salt, I poured it, mixed it well." And Gautama laughed and said, "I asked you to put the salt in the water and drink, and you put it in a glass of water? Go put the salt in the river and then take a glass and drink." It is how we do which matters. The next day, this fellow goes and puts the salt, handful of salt in the river, mixes it in the river, takes a cup of water from the river and drinks it. Wow, what a nice taste, nectarine feeling. It is the same salt which he mixed in both the cases, isn't it? How you do matters. Everybody have problems in their life. Now where you put these problems really make a lot of difference. The handful of salt which resembles problems in our life, if you put it in a small vessel, which I call as love, then you are restricted only into the boundaries of that vessel. And when you interact again with it, it is not a great feeling for you. But when you expand your love from a glass of water to a big river, it's not just handful of salt, but if you throw a bucket full of salt into it, still the love makes a great nectarine feeling. In summary, the three things for us to go within. First, live in the moment. Make every moment a godly moment. Second, what you do matters. And that is where we need to realize that service is a great opportunity. Third, how you do matters. And that is where love, the great weapon of God, comes into picture. Love all, serve all. Sairam.
A time well spent, don't you think so? Yes. Let us put our hands together once again to thank Brother Vijaya Sunder for the beautiful stories, experiences and insights he shared with us today, which we hope to process and internalize. Needless to say, listening to the stories and message of our beloved Sai rekindles our love and faith. and reminds us time and again of Swami's power and omnipresence. Thank you, Brother Vijay, for reminding us so beautifully that each one of us is his greatest miracle and that we should love ourselves and expand that love to our fellow beings. We shall close with Aarti. Sairam.
Swami Sathya Sai Hare, Bhakta Jana Samrakshata, Bhakta Jana Samrakshata, Bhakti Vaneshwara, Om Jai Jagadish Hare, Shashi Vandana Shri Kara, Sarva Pranapati, Swami Sarva Pranapati.
Yeah.